live. Hey everybody, happy Tuesday. I'm Rob Booker, best-selling author of Adventures of a Currency Trader and Trading by Faith and blah 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 and yada yada yada. Creator of these amazing YouTube videos. I was awarded last night the most amazing YouTube personality with a short beard and a crazy attitude. So I accept that award generously, and I will personally come astral project to each of you to thank you in person. Okay, first of all, before we get started with everything else here today, a warning. So you're going to hear from someone impersonating me on YouTube comments, on Twitter direct messages, Twitter comments, Instagram direct messages, Instagram comments, and especially Facebook messages to you, or on a message to you from like a fake Facebook profile or a WhatsApp messenger. And what they're going to ask you for is that I have an account management program and you should send Bitcoin or wire money to a certain location. And it's clearly a scam, and it's obviously not me, especially if you click on the profile, you'll know it's not me. What I want to do is just pray for those people that are in whatever trouble they're in, that are causing this kind of distress and impersonating another person. I hope first of all they get what's coming to them, and second of all, I hope they're ready to meet up with me, because I'm going to go on a search around the world for these people. Anyway, just and I also forgive them, but I also want to destroy them. Okay, let's talk about highest responsibility. So welcome here if you're just joining me now. If you don't know who I am and you've never watched one of these videos before, I'm Rob Booker. I've been a trader for 18 years. And you can subscribe to the YouTube channel or like the Facebook page. That helps me out a lot. I really appreciate it. What I want to talk about today when it comes to traders is two concepts. And the first of which is deciding right now in your life and thinking, I'm going to go off camera for a minute, but I want you to spend a minute here and think about what your highest responsibility is. And then I want you to think about what your second highest responsibility is, your third highest responsibility is, and maybe even a fourth. And just list those mentally, and I'll be right back. All right, I probably gave you enough time. So think about what your highest responsibilities are. For some of you, that's a religious principle. It's God. For some of you, it's you. Your highest responsibility is to yourself, because if you don't take care of yourself, you can't help anybody else. For some of you, your highest responsibility is to your family, and for some of you, your highest responsibility is your work, and for some of you, your highest responsibility is to your trading. And the truth of the matter is that each one of these things is your highest responsibility at some given point in time every day. And maybe you have an overarching, big picture highest responsibility that's always first in line. And then you have maybe you have other highest responsibilities that come into play, like when you're home in the morning with your family, or home in the evenings with your family, or home during the day with your family, or you're at work, or you're trading. And for every time there is a season, and for every responsibility, there's a moment in time where you need to be committed and fully committed. But the first thing you have to do is decide what those highest responsibilities are. And then you have to decide when it is during the day, and I want to use the example of a day. When it is during the day that each of these highest responsibilities, if you call them that, when each of these things get their moment, get their time. And maybe, like I said, there's an overarching, always on highest responsibility that it makes up who you are at your core. Some calling that you have been put on this earth to do. And I know that for a moment here, for those of you that are watching that like the videos I do about trading, we're certainly going to get into that in a moment. But if you don't think of your life as a series of priorities and a highest priority, then it's never really going to matter if you can look at a chart, because eventually that's going to fade away. And eventually, if you're not taking care of the most important responsibilities in your life, it's all going to fall apart. So what is that overarching highest responsibility for you? And what are you doing during the day to manifest that? And then what are your other responsibilities, and what times of day, and what kinds of what parts of your day involve those highest responsibilities. And then I want you to ask the question, what can I do to serve at the highest level in those responsibilities? So I know this sounds, completely ridiculous and weird, but after my family, on my list, after my family comes my family of traders. Not really my trading, although my trading is a responsibility that I have, but it comes afterwards. And today I just want to talk about the fact that, when you put your family or God or your family or whatever in the top levels of your highest responsibilities, and then you ask the question, how can I serve that responsibility at the highest level? You start to get some really great answers about how you're going to spend the rest of your life. And you start to get some really great answers on how you give your life meaning. Because after you buy everything that it is that you want, and after you go to all the places in the world that you've ever wanted to go, you're left with yourself. And you're left with whether you spent your life with a life of meaning or with purpose or not. Why did the dolphin get kicked out of animal school? Because he had no porpoise. Okay, that was just a little joke. Okay, so ask yourself that question. How do you serve your family at the highest level? What things do you do? So now you know that during the day, after you get back from work or before you go to work, that's family time, and you've got family time. And what do you do during those times to serve your family at the highest level? Do you sit on the couch and ignore everybody and read a book? Do you turn on a game and watch that and ignore your family? Well, that certainly isn't family time, and that shows that your highest responsibility is to watching sports or something else. So if I say that my highest responsibility on my list, one of my highest responsibilities is to you, my family of traders, and then I designate this as one of the times of the day that I spend time with you, well, how do I serve you at the highest level? What do I do? So I want to just concentrate on that for a moment. First, I tell you the truth. First, I tell you the truth about my own trading and about the success and the failures of the traders that I admire the most. And I think that that's the highest way that someone in this business standing on this side of the camera can serve you as a trader, is by telling you the truth. Because the internet is full of mistruths and myths and paradoxical untruths about, like these platitudes that people make up about trading that really aren't true, and they don't really reflect what it really means to try to trade for a living. And the truth of that, some of those things are, for example, first you have to learn how to make $1 a day. And then you have to learn how to make and keep $10 a day. Before you can ever get to trading for a living, you have to do these foundational things that most people find annoying or difficult or whatever else, but it's the truth. So if I'm going to serve you at the highest level, that's the first responsibility that I have, is to make sure that when I get on here, that I'm giving you foundational principles that are going to serve you for a lifetime, even after you've moved on from not paying attention to me, which I hope is never. Okay, so that's an example of what I'm trying to do and how I'm trying to structure my life better so that I've got my family of traders that are in the programs that I teach that I've got a commitment to, and that I'm serving them at the highest level and making sure that I'm caring for them in a way that benefits them for the long term and helps them serve their families or God or their church or whatever else it is in their lives at the highest level. See, my purpose is, and I know this sounds crazy, and I know some of you think this is ridiculous, but my purpose after taking care of my family is to help you have the resources and tools that you need, meaning money, to serve at the highest level in the things that are most important to you in life. That's my life's calling after raising happy, independent children and taking good care of my wife. Like that's it. That's my highest responsibility. That's what I do. That's how I serve at the highest level. So let's talk about trading for a minute. So trading has its moments, right? I still trade. I do robotic trading, as all of you already know. And then I do some binary trading. These are US binaries, not like some weird European gambling scheme. At 1 p.m. my local time every day. And then I do some longer term trading. I just took a buy trade on the Euro New Zealand this morning with I probably took a trade size that was too big. In the interest of telling you the truth, I usually trade 0.01 lots. I pressed the button wrong and I thought I was trading 1.5 mini lots today. I put a 1.5 standard lot trade on the Euro New Zealand, and I'm going to have to deal with that. A little bit later, I might even record a video about how I'm going to deal with that and then upload that and share with you the truth about that mistake and what I'm going to do about it and how I'm going to deal with it. So if this is one of my responsibilities, and for me, it's fourth on the list, my trading. So my spiritual life comes first. Taking care of myself and making sure I'm in the right place and I'm living with integrity according to true principles, then my family, and then my family of traders, and then my trading. So my robotic trading, what that means is I have a designated part of the day, 8 o'clock in the morning when I get into the office, the first thing that I do is I pull up that account and I make sure those trades are going okay. So for you, you would say, well, maybe I'm doing some long-term trading or whatever, or maybe I'm planning my trades every day. So you say, at this time of day, trading becomes my highest responsibility, and I don't let anything get in the way of that highest responsibility, and I serve that purpose at the highest level I can by paying attention, by being focused, by not letting distractions come into play. And what I find that people do that are unsuccessful as traders is what they will do is they will say, oh yeah, trading's really important to me. And they'll do something ridiculous like put trading in first place for some period of time, like a week or a month. And they'll say, I'm just finally gonna do it. I'm gonna put trading it's the highest priority in my life, which is ridiculous and can't really be sustainable because trading can never give back to you as much as you put in. It can never love you back in the way that you love it. So people will make that mistake of putting it in the first position. And then they'll find that they spend enormous amounts of time and they block that out, and then they get distracted and they realize it can't be first because they have a family, because they have commitments in their church and other things. And then they get torn away from trading, and then they're not really serving at the highest level when they're doing this. So it's better to spend 10 minutes serving at the highest level at something than it is to spend 2 hours doing it in a distracted manner. So let's say that you only have, because of your life and your schedule, you only have 10 minutes a day with your spouse. But if in that 10 minutes a day, you're focused and attentive and loving and all in, that's going to be better than 2 hours from someone who's distracted, angry, frustrated, irritated, mean, or whatever else. You can do a better job in 10 minutes a day than other people do with 2 hours if you're serving at the highest level. And I think this is a major untruth that is spread about what it takes to trade for a living, is that it somehow requires some enormous amount of time commitment. When what it really requires is that you serve at the highest level when you've designated the time to do it. So here's the challenge today, is to designate a time of day when you do focus on that trading and when you do serve it at the highest level. And during that time, you don't let other things distract you. You don't let other things get in the way. You do your very best during that time. And then you let it go. And then you drop it. And then you put the other things that carry more weight and give your life more meaning, you put those things back in first place. All right, if this was helpful to you, or if you enjoyed this video, or if you enjoy the content I'm putting out on YouTube, then what you can do is like the video, leave a comment below, and most of all, what helps me a ton is when you smash that subscribe button and click that little bell so you get notified when I go live or when I upload a video. I love the heck out of you. I'm so grateful to spend time with you. I'm so grateful to be here with you every day. I'll be back tomorrow morning around 9 a.m. Central US time. And for those of you that are members, I'll be trading that New York, Tokyo Drift, New York close today at 1 p.m. again. And you've got your webinar link in your email address probably. And if you don't, we'll get that out to you. Love the heck out of you. I'll see you all later. Bye for now.